Hey there. Today, I want to have a bit of a chat with you about how to put more cash into your business. And this works for every business. I've literally run these numbers on thousands of different kinds of business. I've never seen a business where this doesn't work. So this is called the business chassis. Now, there's two things I know about business. Number one, all businesses are alike. Now, how are all businesses alike? All businesses are alike because they're built on the same chassis. The same fundamentals work in building and growing any business. But the other thing I know is that all businesses are different. And all businesses are different because they're in different industries. They have different customers. They have different niches. They have different people. Everything's different. So what I always say is this is a bit of like epoxy glue. You know what epoxy glue is, right? Epoxy glue has two parts. And if you just use one part, it doesn't work. The glue doesn't stick. But if you mix the two together, then you get a synergy. You get more than the parts, and it becomes a very, very powerful glue. Well, this is a bit like this. Today, I'm going to give you some generalized principles. And then that's the first part of the epoxy glue. The second part of the epoxy glue is, having a strategy session with me or one of the members of my team to get into the specifics, to brainstorm strategies and tactics that'll help you grow your business. It's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you anything. All you have to do is just book in an appointment with us, and we'll take care of the rest. We'll send you a bit of a worksheet so we can get some background on your business, so we can actually give you some ideas and some strategies and tactics that'll help you grow your business. So enjoy the learning today, and then get yourself signed up for that strategy session. So let's talk about the business chassis. So most of you know that automobiles are often built on similar chassis. So a car manufacturer will use the same chassis to build different vehicles. The original Porsche was built on a Volkswagen Karmann Ghia chassis. For a long time, Jaguars were built on a Ford Taurus chassis. The Audi R8, which is a supercar, is built on the Volkswagen Golf chassis. So manufacturers do this all the time. They use the same chassis over and over and over again. That's the fundamentals. So let's talk about what the business fundamentals. So I've got it up here. And the formula is you get leads into your business. You do some marketing or however you get leads. They come into your business. But you don't convert all those leads to clients or customers. You convert a percentage of them to customers. So when you multiply your conversion rate times your leads, you're going to get your customers. Now, your customers, when they buy from you, they buy an average dollar sales. Some people may buy a little bit, some people buy a lot, but anyway, you're going to have an average. So, and then there's going to be repeat business. A great business will always get customers back more over and over and over again. And you say, well, I'm a home builder and I only build, one house per customer per year. Well, great. Well, then you put one in there. You still have 4 ways to work on growing the business. But there is repeat business. It just doesn't happen in the time period that you're talking about. So you take your customers times your average dollar sale or your average ticket times the number of times they would buy from you in a given year, and you'll get your revenues. And then you get to keep some of it, which is your profit, so that's your margin percentage. Okay. So we've got 5 areas we can work on when growing the business. By the way, this is about marketing. This looks like it's about accounting, but this is about marketing leverage. This is about growing your business. Okay. So let's show it how it works. Let's put in some numbers. So let's say in this business, you get 4,000 leads in a year. And let's say that you convert a quarter of them, so 25% to customers. So 25% times 4,000 means you're going to have 1,000 customers. Okay. And let's say on average, they buy $100. And let's say on average, they come back, they buy twice per year. So what that gives us is when we take 1,000 times 100 times 200, we get a $200,000 revenue business. Okay. Now, let's say that it's a service-based business and we get a margin of 25%. That's going to give us a profit of $50,000. $50,000. Good little business. Makes $50,000 a year. Now, what we're going to do, we're talking about getting cash into the business, growing the business, getting more money through the business. So what that means is we need to improve on some of these areas. So we're going to look at improving these areas, what we call the 5 ways. Now, some people say, I always ask, like, what is most important? The red items or the blue items? And most people say the red items. It's a bit of a trick question. Of course, you want more customers. Of course, you want more revenues. Of course, you want more profit. But in order to get that, you have to look at the inputs. You have to look at the blue numbers. So the things that you can make changes to, the things that you can grow are really your blue numbers. So what you want to do is chunk everything down to the smallest thing you can have an impact on. So we're going to work on the 5 ways. The first area we're going to go to work on is leads. Now, how could you get more leads? Well, you could run referral strategies. Like, how many referral strategies do you have? I had a client one time that we were looking for strategic partners to grow her business, and she was in the window cleaning business. And who buys from window cleaners? Well, she did large homes, so it was basically the woman of the house, because you all know men don't really care if their windows are clean or not until they get so dirty you can't see out of them. But anyway, so we said, all right, well, where else do our clients shop? Where else do they write a check? Well, dry cleaners and grocery stores and all the places that they would shop, high-end ladies shop. Well, we hit on this idea of day spas. And we went down to a friend of hers who said, and we said to her, hey, do you have a list of your best customers? She said, yeah, I got them divided. I've got platinum, gold, silver, which is, by the way, is another great strategy. But anyway, so we said, well, about how many are your best customers do you have? And she said, about 50. I said, what do they get? And she said, well, they get a certain number of treatments, and they get the robe with their name on it, and a mug with their, that's theirs, and for their coffee. And, they get treated like royalty. I mean, it's a spa after all. You want to treat people like royalty. And we said, well, would it be okay if we sent your Christmas cards this year? She said, what do you mean? She said, well, we'll pay for you. You pick your Christmas cards out. We'll pay for it. We'll pay the postage. We just want to be able to put a coupon in it that says, good for $25 off your next window cleaning. And we want to send it before Thanksgiving. And because here's the deal. A lot of women want to have a Christmas party, and they want their windows to look good. They want their house to look good for all their friends that they're going to have over for the Christmas party. So we did it. She said, sure, I'll do that. And so the message in the Christmas card that she picked out, we didn't even see the names of the 50 people. She mailed them. We just gave her the money to do it all. But the coupon in the thing said, thanks for being a great customer of our day spa. We want to be more than your day spa. So here is a gift for $25 off your next window cleaning from our window cleaning company. And so out of 50 that we mailed, we got 19 requests for quote. We got 11 jobs at an average job of about $785. So we got over $8,000 business on a less than $500 investment in Christmas cards. So what can you do in your marketing? There's tons of different ways. We've got 70 or 80 or so in our book, Instant Cash Flow. So we're going to get this up 10%. We're going to get this to 4,400 leads. Now, we're going to go to work on conversion. Now, how many of you, or do you even measure your conversion rate? Well, if you're not measuring your conversion rate, I'll guarantee you that you can get a 10% bump in your conversion if you'll just measure it. But how else could you get it? Well, let me tell you a story. So I will still work with a roofing company, and the sales guys, and we were about 27% conversion. So we were a little better than a quarter of them were buying from us. But we knew if we could get that up to, about a third, that would change. That's a game changer. I mean, that is a huge increase in our money to our bottom line. So what did we do? Number one, we targeted better. Number two, we worked on a sales process. We outlined the sales process, and we began to look where we were losing customers, where, in the process, where were we losing customers? We got brochures, and we changed the way we presented the thing. We went to to a good, better, best situation. So where we had the roof we'd recommend, we had, might be the best, and then we would have good and better. So we would have a couple of versions down. So we'd sometimes downsell, sometimes we would upsell. But either way, we were getting our conversion rate up. So just by doing 3 or 4 simple things, and we also did a ton of sales training with our sales team, we got our conversion rate from 27% to over 33%. So we're going to get this one up, not 10%, not to 35%, but to 27.5%. So when you multiply that out, when you multiply 0.275 times 4,400, you get 1,210 customers, 1,210 customers. Now we're going to go to work on average dollar sale. So how would you get your average dollar sale up? Well, the easiest way is to raise prices. I've done this hundreds of times, and you say, well, I can't push my prices on my customers or anything, but you can raise your prices selectively. I'm happy to show you the money math on how it works. In fact, you can go to my YouTube video on margin of raising prices versus discounting. Just check it out, and you'll see that you probably can push your prices just a little bit. Most people wait to push prices up when they've got an increase in cost. Well, you can usually get it earlier than that. Now, how else could you get your average ticket up? Well, we've got another 65 or 70 strategies to do that, but here are some of them. You can upsell, you can downsell, you can bundle, there's a lot of things that you can do around added value, adding value to something, making, doing additions. I know. So I did this with my client, Ray. Now, Ray's in the furniture repair business, and he had a very nice business, a bunch of employees, a lot of good things. But what we were doing, our average ticket was $385. Okay. And what we did was, all we did was get the salespeople to begin, because we would get a call to look at grandma's table and how much would it cost to fix it, to get it refinished. But what we did was, when we go out and look at grandma's table, we'd also say, well, we'd start looking at the dressers and the chairs and everything, say, hey, we can fix that scratch, we can add it on. Now, by doing that one strategy, we were able to raise his average ticket over $700, which we got us 188% improvement in profit to the bottom line. So we're going to get that up to 110. Now, we're also going to go and get 1 in 10 back. So we're going to get up to 2.2. We're going to get 1 in 10 customers back. Now, how could you get customers back? Well, we can keep in touch. That's been one of the best strategies that we've used with clients over there. We just continuously keep in touch. We make them offers. One of my clients used to call her clients with no agenda right before Christmas and just wish them a Merry Christmas. And so that's a great strategy. I would suggest that you keep in touch would be a way to get people back. It works great. How does, you can run a contest. You can run, I know some of the restaurants will run like McDonald's, when we used to run the Monopoly board, right? You'd have the Monopoly, and you'd win a fries or a shake. Well, you're not going to buy just a fries or a drink. You're going to buy, you're going to use it when you buy a hamburger. So they're getting you back in. Okay. So we've used that strategy over and over and over again. You can give a coupon. So what do you get when you get this? You're going to get, so what this adds up to is 292,820. So you're going to get from 200,000 up to 292,820, which, by the way, if you're good at math, you'll see that's a 46% improvement. Just by getting those 4 ways up, we're already get a 46% improvement. Now let's talk about how we're going to get our margin up to 27.5%. Okay, now how are we going to do that? Well, if you've raised prices, you've already probably impacted your margin, but how are some other ways? You can look at your costs. Like when COVID first hit, we took a hard look at a lot of our customers' costs, and we found things like recurring charges. Maybe you had signed up for some sort of a, $30 a month or $100 a month recurring charge. Well, if you weren't using the software or you were using something different, well, you just kept getting it. So a lot of y'all have these yearly charges and it adds up to something. So you can look at your costs. You can look at, one of the best stories we had is I worked with a contractor who built about 50 houses a year. And so he had 2 major lumber suppliers, and we went to one of them who we preferred. And we said to him, hey, we're going to build this many houses, and this is about how much lumber what can you do for us? Well, they gave us a better deal on bundling. So we did a supplier negotiation essentially. And what it amounted to was over $200,000 in savings. So look, there are tons of ways to get in this, but we're going to get this particular business up 2.5%, which is going to give us a profit of $80,525.50. Now, here's a question for you. That's 61%. How many of you could you use a 61% improvement in your profits? Could you use another 30 grand? Look, all you have to do is run the 5 ways. I was running it the other day. I've run it on service businesses. I've run it on staffing businesses. I've run it on electricians, plumbers, lawyers, accountants, manufacturing. It doesn't matter. You can run it. Now, if you've got multiple businesses within your business, you're going to want to break it down even further and do it for each business. Now, so if you'd like a hand running the 5 ways on it, or if you'd like a template on how to do it, then you're going to want to reach out to me. My information is going to be somewhere in around this video. Just reach out to me and we'll be glad to set it up. And remember that this is just the generalized stuff. We need to talk about your business specifically. So I want you to book in for that strategy session as soon as you can. Until next time, all the best.